Morning, everybody, and welcome to ESO Daily. I am your host, Mr. Craven, and I have my new DK, Magicka DK build for Summerset. This is called Wildfire. Now, I did have this build already posted, but this is the update for Summerset, and there's a lot of changes, and once again, I really enjoy the changes to Summerset and what this build is going to offer. Now, for a warning, this build may not be for you, but this build was intended to help sustain and maintain damage output. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Now, this is a Destro build. So you're going to go ahead and see my max Magicka on my one side is 38,430. Magic recovery is low. It's intentional. Don't worry. It's 1,358 currently. Spell crit 55.4. My resistance, you're going to, morning Robert. Resistance, you're going to see 14.6 spell, 14.4 physical. To the left, you're going to see everything's been allocated to Magicka, no health. Don't need it with this build, and we're going to be using the Thief Mundus, very important, and we're going to be using, oh yeah, max health and max Magicka. I know what people are thinking automatically. Oh my god, you don't have recovery food. It's okay. It's fine. Trust you and me. So, max Magicka, max health. Now, on the other side, you're going to see the stats slightly change. So, Magicka is going to slightly go down to 36. But all the other stats remain the same. Health is still at 18,935. That's pretty. That's nice. And spell crit still remains 55.4. All right, so let's get into the sets and what we're doing here. Now, this is going to be crazy, but keep up with me. I'll break it down for you guys. We're going to be using the Asylum's Inferno Staff. Morning, Sylvia. Congratulations. Can't wait to play with you again. Looking forward to it. Now, this actually... Yeah, no, that's right. So this is the Asylum Inferno Staff. Now, it's imperfect. It's not the perfect version. Why did I just put the imperfect on? Simple, because it's easy to obtain, right? You don't have to be like some killer awesome player to get this. You can just do normal Asylum, get this staff. You want to transmute it to Nirnhone, and you want to put the weapon damage enchantment on it, which will give you 348 for 5 seconds. Now, if you want to go with infused, you can do that. But remember, Nirnhone will scale off percentage. The other set one of the sets we're going to be using is the Lich set. I know it sounds nuts, but why am I going to take the Lich set? Very simple. It's going to give me recovery. It's going to give me Magicka. It's going to give me recovery. When I cast an ability while under 33% Magicka, very important here. Your magic recovery is going to increase by 996 for 20 seconds. This effect can occur every minute. So I only have a 40-second downtime, right? It's really, really important why I'm covering this. So for 20 seconds, I'm going to get a boost that's going to increase my magic recovery every second for 20 seconds. Now, I will get into that later. But yes, I am using the Lich set. It is intentional. Okay, I'm going to use Valkynscorian. Now, if you want to use Zane, you can, but I still like Valkynscorian a lot because it gives me that health. Plus, it deals, I can be at a range. I don't have to be, channeling. So I'm very mobile with the set, and it has a nice AoE effect to it. So I still really like this. This is heavy, so I want to keep one heavy, one medium for the Undaunted passive of 6%. So this is infused with max Magicka. That is ideal. I also am using the Burning Spellweave. Now this is my static set. This will be static at all time. So you'll see that I have the only Lich 3 pieces. But when I switch out due to the changes to Summerset and I go back in, now I have 5 of the Lich, because I'm rotating throughout my rotation. So when I'm on the back bar, I'm going to get the bonus towards the Magicka recovery. So heads up. Now, Burning Spellweave is going to stay static. Why? Because all my burning effects are being laid down. When I deal damage with a flame damage ability, I have a 15% chance to apply the burning status effect to an enemy that increases my spell damage for 8 seconds. This can occur once every 12 seconds. So it has a 4-second downtime. So it's important to remember now with the changes to the Magicka Dragonknight and Combustion, when I apply a burning status effect, I restore 500 Magicka. This effect can occur every 5 seconds. So it's very important for the burning spell weave to stay static. Why? Because it automatically applies the burning status effect. Add that with the Asylum. Every third cast of Force Shock will always apply the burning status effect. So between the burning spell weave and the Asylum, I'm going to keep applying the burning status effect, giving 100% uptime towards my magic recovery of 500. I'm sorry, my 1 second here. Okay, I'm back. All right, so very important that that remains static. So this is the chest Divine ideal. So I went with 1 infused, the rest are Divine. Valkenscorian medium arm cups, max Magicka Divine, burning spellweave sash, max Magicka Divine, burning spellweave gloves, max Magicka Divine, burning spellweave breachers, max Magicka Divine, burning spellweave shoes, max Magicka Divine. Now, here's where it gets tricky. So I'm using 3 jewelry pieces of the Lich. I want 1 infused with a recovery. I need a little bit of recovery between the rotation and the proc from the Lich. So I went with infused to maximize the Magicka recovery. I also went with a Ring of the Lich, kept it arcane with spell damage. And also I went with the Bloodthirsty, increased spell damage. So when they drop under 25%, I increased the damage of enemies under 25% by 9%. So increase the damage against enemies under 25% health by 9%, right. So 9% increase to the damage. Morning, David. Morning, Calvin. Yep, let's go. So 1 Bloodthirsty, 1 Arcane, and 1 Infused. Very, very important. 2 spell damage increases. Okay. Also, very, very important with the build. Now, let's go ahead and get into the skills here. Primary bar is going to be our Inferno. Now, keep in mind, I'm using the Lightning Staff. I have my primary bar is the Inferno. My back bar is the Lightning Staff. That's important due to the passives, to the Destruction Staff, Ancient Knowledge. Now, with Ancient Knowledge, Lightning Staff increases damage done with Area of Effect abilities by 8%, so long as I have a Destruction Staff ability slotted. While fire damage increases the damage of single target abilities by 8%. So this is going to be my Destruction Staff, and the way to utilize my Asylum Staff is Force Pulse. Now I'm going to take Force Pulse. If you want to use Crushing Shock, you can do that. But the reason I like this is because I get 3 damage types. I get the Flame. You'll notice the Flame's higher than the Frost and the Shock. And then I have an effect to... up to 2 nearby enemies will take an additional 2,930 Magicka damage if they were already afflicted with the Burning, Chilled, or Concussed status effect. So if they're applied with the Burning status effect, guess what they're going to do? Oh yeah, they're going to take extra damage. Bam! Done. I also have another Destruction Staff ability. That's the Unstable Wildfire. Now keep in mind this is an AoE effect. But I have other AoE effects on the back bar. So I'm going to utilize this to increase the flame damage and thus increase the chance to apply Burning status effect to the mobs. Alright. Burning Embers, no surprise, pretty standard. This is the big one with the Psijic Order. A lot of people like rearming Trap. I want the Race Against Time. Why? Because I'm getting the Minor Force. I'm also getting Major Expedition. And then I get this nice little boost into the Psijic Order skill line with Spell Orbs. When I cast the Psijic Order ability in combat, I generate a Spell Charge. When I reach 5 Spell Charges, I launch a Spell Orb to the closest enemy, dealing 4,009 Magicka. Alright? The Spell Charges must be generated within 10 seconds of each other. Now, here's the deal. Race Against Time only lasts for, what, let's see, 12 seconds. But I want to keep casting this every 8 seconds to keep that Psijic Order ability slotted. So Race Against Time becomes a natural part of the rotation. I don't want the other one because I wanted to keep generating those Spell Orbs. Alright, Flames of Oblivion, no surprise, is going to give us our Major Savagery, and keep in mind that's why our Max Magicka is slightly lower on this side, but it's okay. You know, it's, 2,000. You can put Inner Light if you want, but I wouldn't suggest it. Standards of Might, I love this because when I utilize this, I'm increasing my damage by 15% and reducing the damage by 15%. So I really, really like the Standard of Might. Back bar. Okay, so this is my AoE bar, right? So Eruption, AoE, Engulfing Flame, AoE, increase flame damage by 10%. Now, I'm using Burning Talons. Keep in mind that bosses will be immune to the immobilization, but the damage will apply. Also, you can switch that out for your Deep Breath, for your Interrupt, or you can use Draw Essence. Okay? And of course, we have our Harness Magicka. That will help us retain some Magicka if we get hit with spell damage. Kind of nice. And then, of course, we have our Inner Light. And this is important. We put the Thunderous Rage on this bar so we can maintain that Ancient Knowledge passive to do what? Increase our AoE effects. Okay. So, really, really nice. Now, let me show you how this works, guys. Okay. So, Lich, right? Remember, I have very, very, very low recovery. 1358. That's kind of nuts, right? So, Lich, while I'm under 33%. Okay. So, you guys will see, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to dump my Magicka down. Keep dumping it. Keep dumping it. Keep dumping it. Keep dumping it. Okay, now we're going to go into the character sheet. That's right, 2,700 Magicka recovery per second for 20 seconds. 2,700 for 20 seconds. 2,700 per second for 20 seconds. You will go up fast. You will go up super fast with this ability. All right. Once again, I'm just kind of messing around and showing you guys something. Now you'll see the spell orbs are going to go ahead. There's kind of this thing going on here with it. And I got to do 3 casts with this to get a status effect applied. But it's always going to be applied. Back bar. Switch. Okay, I'm still on cooldown. Just trying to... 27. Now look. Every second I'm getting 2,700 into that. Okay? 27. 27. Alright. So it's really, really nice. It comes in handy, especially if you're going to maintain. And of course you want to do the light attack. So it's... And then when I come into my character sheet, I'm almost at 3,000 spell damage. Now, is this set up for ideally for trials? No, but for your vets, this will maintain it. Really like this. All right, I'm really, really enjoying it. Got those spell orbs. Now you'll see that. See when I keep casting, every 8 seconds I want to recast because there's a countdown on the spell orbs. So every so many seconds I'm going to keep reapplying the spell orbs. Okay? So you'll see it every 8 seconds. Spell orb cast. You want to cast that because it's going to deal extra damage. Okay, just that simple. Against the race against time. Every 8 seconds, roughly, to maintain that spell orb damage rotation. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with that low of recovery, you can glyph another jewelry with recovery. You can. So you can do that. But with the Lich proc, you're going to get 2,700 once you're under the 33. Now you add other effects like shards, orbs, elemental drain, radiant ore, you'll be fine. You'll be fine with the recovery. It procs in 2,700. You maintain the damage output. You get that nice bonus when they're under 25%. Really, really, really nice. We didn't have to put anything into max health. You know, we got everything taken into consideration with the build. I'm really liking this build a lot. Now, a lot of people will be like, oh, you should be using your Power Lash or whatever. Power Lash is good, but with this build, I didn't want to. I wanted to use the Asylum. Why? Because I'm keeping up with that with the Burning Spell Weave. I'm just keep applying the Burning Status effect. And that's helping me with my recovery. That's about it. So it's really, really nice. I'm really enjoying the build. Oh, wrong button. Like I said, when I come over here, bam, 27 again. So it's going to basically, you don't have to weave as much. And if you have to weave on targets, you got that for the AoE. Okay, pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm really liking the build. I'm just messing around. But yeah, guys, very simple. Very, very simple. You always want to start with the back bar, too, for your rotation. So you'll drink your pot. You need a spell potion pot. So heads up. You always just keep that up, the Flames of Oblivion. You go ahead and lay down the Eruption. And then we just get into it. We'll always get this up, too. So always get up the spell orbs, your crit. So you'll apply the crit. You throw out the Eruption, down. And this just becomes your spammable after all your dots are down. Alright? Just that simple. Just messing around, showing it. It's just, you always start off with the back bar in the AoE. Just make sure this is up, your flames. And then you just go to town, apply everything. And then once you get your dots down and your wall and stuff, then you spam up. You get 3 spams on your Force Pulse, proc it in, reset. So 3 pulses, then you're going to have to recast. Once you get the 3 pulses in, you recast this and your Flames of Oblivion. And then you just go town. Okay? So kind of important how to keep that up. Alright? So pretty much there it is, Wildfire. Once again, I really like it because I know I'm getting that 27. So let's say, for example, on the back bar, I'll show you what the recoveries are. So I have 11, right, which is pretty weak actually, and 13. Those are pretty weak recovery. But once I get that, I'm down, and I'm looking at a down proc. All of a sudden, I just go ahead and I dump down. Okay, 1, 2. Now we go in, 27 on this side. And when I switch out, 25 per second. Alright? It will come in handy, and it'll minimize your weaving, your heavy attacks. So you'll still use light attacks between every ability, right? So every ability you're going to be light attacking between the switch. But when all of a sudden, what you're going to do is heavy attacks maintain what? Resources. So you want to do what with this build? Minimize how many heavy attacks you have to do throughout the rotation. So if versus like 3 or so, you only get down to maybe 1. You also for 3 to 1 between the Lich set. So really like it a lot. So it's about sustain. It's about being able to push out the amount of damage without sacrificing it. And that's what this build is meant to do. But thank you guys. If anybody has any questions or comments, please post below. Once again, thank you, Robert. Thank you, David. And thank you for Sylvia for showing up. I do appreciate it. And once again and always, thank you. And have a nice day.